Welcome to the San Diego Prep Insider Football Podcast, playoff edition. We're in the semifinals now. Finals for some.
/ finals, because D5 finals are happening this week.
Guys, where are we?
Steele Canyon. You already know where it is.
All right, they all answered that, so you guys are doing good already.
One for one so far. We're here at Steele Canyon High School. We're going to go through all the playoff brackets. We'll start with Division 5, guys. I'll let you.
Can we start with why we're here?
Yeah, why are we here, guys?
Because you guys are the lowest remaining seed in the playoffs after putting up how many on Bishops last week?
61.
We're
Yeah,
the sleepers
that's
in the
crazy.
competition.
Wake up the sleepers. You feel me?
I can't even count that high. Wait, do you guys have a mascot that has to do push-ups with the score? Like some schools? Cheerleaders said do 61 push-ups.
Well, actually,
After the first two, they stopped after 20.
You got some ripped cheerleaders after last
They start like jump in and do some like tumble time or whatever.
61 of whatever is a lot. So, did you apologize to them after the game?
No.
No offense will ever have to apologize for putting up 61. No way.
All right, we're going to go through all the brackets. We'll have one guest picker for each bracket. Guys, introduce yourselves when we get to your bracket. We'll start with Division 5. Already in the finals, so congratulations to these two teams. It's the number 1 seed, Vincent Memorial, to Southwestern College, not going anywhere, facing Crawford. Christian, I'll let you start it, and then...
Yeah, congratulations to both these teams on making a finals. There's been a really interesting season for Crawford, starting out 5-0. Took a couple losses to University City and some bigger schools like that, but they got their stadium back. So, the storyline is rich on that side. So I'm going to go with the intangibles. I'm going to go with the momentum of Crawford to take this one. Really, Vincent Memorial is a heavy passing team, so it's going to require a big interception or something like that to get the win. But I think that Crawford's got this one.
I don't know much people from Vincent Memorial, and I don't follow their team much, but I know Crawford's been having a good season, so I'd also have to go with you and go with Crawford.
All right, so introduce yourself, too.
I'm Robert Whitehead. I play DB.
All right, so we got 2 for Crawford. Tommy?
I'm going to be contrarian. I'm going to go with Vincent Memorial. A lot of these teams from far away, we don't get a chance to see them, so we don't really know much about them, but they put up the numbers. They have wins against San Diego section teams. I think they'll go ahead and win a ring this year. The Division 5 champions, I think, Vincent Memorial.
So you're crowning our first ring season winner will be Vincent Memorial.
Correct.
Okay. Noah, you're gonna make this a tie, or you're gonna go 3-1?
No, I'm gonna go with Tommy.
Okay.
I feel like Vincent Memorial has the quarterback play. I feel like they have the spread offense that's gonna, have success against this Crawford team, and I think they're gonna pull out a close one.
All right, going on to Division 4. Division 4.
Finals.
Yes.
We still got another week before these finals happen, so 4 teams remain in each one of these brackets.
First, let's meet our guest picker for right now.
Darren Wall, number 99 for defensive end.
All right, there we go. He's going to be picking Division 4 with us. First game, the number 1 seed, University City, will be hosting the number 4 seed, Monta Vista. I'm going to get my pick out of the way. I'm taking UC. Christian, your thoughts?
I'm also going to go with UC. I think that they surprised us a lot this year in terms of the prolific production from Gunnar Gray, new quarterback, but all the weapons to use, and he has lit it up as a sophomore standout for that team. A lot of props to Monta Vista beating Chula in overtime, so you got to think that there's maybe something there, but the intangibles of a defense, they just don't measure up to Casey Granforce. He's a really just all-purpose threat. That offense from University City is not going to be stopped. I'm ready to see them versus San Diego in the finals.
I'm going to have to go with Monta Vista, man. I know they got a really, really good run game going on. They got Jamon for the running back, and he's been making most of their points, so I feel like I'm going to have to give it to Monta Vista.
No, what do you think?
I got UC. We went there earlier for RBU early in the season. We got to talk to Casey Granford and all the running threats over there at UC, and I just think that it's their year. They have that mixture this year, that passing game and the running game. The quarterback's been playing great football. They don't make too many mistakes, and I think they're ready to compete for a title next week.
All right, so we got our Division 3 picker. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Mikel Oliver, number 7, defensive end, defensive tackle.
And if you look familiar, he was on the TV show earlier this year. Thank you so much for being on that.
I'm going to San Diego State.
Okay, yeah, we got to make sure, always plug that, the local team. All right, here we go. Oh, I forgot about Division 4. I did. Jump the gun. I'm sorry. We got one more. All right, we've got the number 2 seed San Diego hosting number 3 Central. Central coming all the way into San Diego from way out there.
Apologies to Earth, Wind, and Fire for skipping them there. Noah, no hat this week?
No hat. I didn't bring it this
It's out in the sun.
But that I got love for San Diego, so let's not even talk about that. We know my love for San Diego.
I'm going to agree with you on that. I got a lot of love for them. You can't go against an undefeated team, especially a team that can run the ball, can play defense. You mentioned Central being spread, but Thomas Marcus in that secondary, this will be the biggest test that San Diego's had yet this season, but I think they're going to come out on top.
No,
you're still thinking.
Sorry,
Sorry.
I
okay.
accidentally skipped you.
Who he's playing?
San Diego Central.
Ooh. I'm gonna have to go with San Diego. They go all the way.
Noah?
Earth, Wind, and Fire, baby. You already know I'm on that hype train over there. I got San Diego. I think this year San Diego's been showing, they've been blowing teams out every week, showing their dominance. Last week they had a little bit of trouble, but now they know what it's like to play in these close football games. They know that even though they've had a pretty much relatively easy season, it is not. Yeah, it's not going to be easy though to get a championship. And I think they realize that. They fully understand that now. I think they're going to play all 4 quarters this weekend at a high level, and they're going to get the win.
All right, so 3 people in San Diego, and 1 is going to pick Central. I'm going to pick Central in this one. Watch out, that offense is high-powered. It'll be a good game, but I think Central.
Not that you're bitter just about them eliminating Country Day or anything?
Nope, fine.
Okay,
All right, moving on. Now you get to do the pick. So we're going to go to Division 3. It's going to be the number 1 seed, Southwest EC. Hilltop will be traveling all the way out there. Christian, what do you think?
I can't go against Hilltop, man. That win last week, going for 2 to put them up over Imperial at the end. You got to love that these guys, they win the first league title in a long time. There's a lot of momentum behind Gus Ferreira and company. I think that I might just be too biased, but I got to go with Hilltop.
I'm gonna have to take Southwest because I think the bus ride is very killer. We had to take that bus ride up to Brawley, and it kills you.
Yeah, what was that bus ride going all the way out there?
It was hot. You got off the bus. We got off the bus to eat. It's just like wow. Like
106, man.
I got to put my pads on right now. Like it's just like wow. It's so hot. So I'm gonna have to take Southwest. I heard they're pretty good too. So
We
we'll
saw
go with
them
them.
on film too because they played West Hills and we played West Hills, so we saw them on film.
Yeah, they got a definite running attack.
Yeah,
that
they have a
you got to
good
look
run
at.
game and they have a nice defense. So
Noah?
I'm gonna have to go with Southwest. I know I got a lot of remarks for picking against Hilltop last week. Congrats to you guys. You guys had a big win. You guys made gutsy calls and it paid off. But I feel like that bus ride. Yeah, shout out to Coach Westling, man. I know he's definitely gonna have. I think he's definitely gonna have his boys ready. I think he's gonna have his boys ready to go to war, and they're gonna play 4 quarters of solid Hilltop football. But I think Southwest EC just has a little bit too much. And, like they've all said, the bus ride up there is just so killer. Coach Westing, hope you get like a nice bus for them to make it a little bit easier.
Get that charter, huh?
Yeah, get that charter bus. But, I got Southwest.
Yeah, I think this is one of those games where you get rid of that rule where you can only take the windows halfway down. You let the kids put the windows all the way down for that ride out there. But I'm going to take Southwest EC in this one.
Let's talk about this other game, because this one's interesting. Like 2 weeks ago, I would not have picked this to be a playoff game that we were going to see, of San Pasqual, the number 3, versus Santa Fe Christian, the number 2. SFC, without Dimitri Washington, to me, was kind of dead in the water. I did not see them having a lot of offensive momentum, and then they put up 60 on La Jolla. That, to me, answered every question I need to know. San Pasqual, they've got the track record of they put up 60 a couple times early in the season, so this might be the highest scoring game we've seen in the entire playoffs. Might just be like 105 to 135, no defense whatsoever being played by either team. But I got to go with Santa Fe Christian. They answered a lot of questions to me last week. Number 2 versus number 3, going to go with the higher seed in this battle of the birds.
I'm gonna have to take my boy Dimitri's team, Santa Fe. Dimitri's not playing. I'm hearing right now, so
He's out for the season, and that's why there was a lot of questions about how offensively stout they would be. But you put up 60, and it doesn't matter.
yeah, I think Dimitri. I'm pretty sure they could pull it off.
do they play at home again?
Santa Fe Christian is the number 2 seed.
Yeah, so this one will be at Santa Fe Christian.
So they play at home again. So it should
They
be.
got that advantage.
Or they might play is it at Torrey on Friday? Yeah, but it's at, yeah.
I'm going to take Santa Fe Christian. I've been saying this all year that Santa Fe Christian is a very well-coached team, and they give everything they have every single Friday. And I just feel like, in the playoffs, there's 2 key things to winning games, and that's your run game, and that's how you dominate the front 7 and how many mistakes you're going to make. And I feel like Santa Fe Christian doesn't make a lot of mistakes. They have a dominant front 7 on both sides of the ball, even regardless of losing a really talented player. I just feel like Santa Fe Christian is going to pull it off on Friday.
I'm going to take them too. Normally, the smaller schools do struggle with the bigger public schools. Would you say that? Would you guys agree with that? That this maybe a smaller private school coming to play a bigger public? But Santa Fe Christian, They play the big boys. They played Torrey Pines this year and last year. They're not scared. They're not afraid. They know what it's like to go against.
Torrey last year?
Did beat Torrey last year.
Last year.
So I'm gonna take.
this year too. They played them close this year.
So I'm gonna take Santa Fe Christian. Moving on to Division II.
Last year.
Guys, have you heard about this Division II bracket? Maybe.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
All right, so they're gonna recuse themselves from talking about this D2 bracket. Something about your bias towards not particularly liking Granite Hills right now, which will bring us to our first game. The lowest remaining seeds in any brackets: number 6 Granite Hills, number 7 Steele Canyon. This one is a really interesting battle that is a rematch. That is something that you guys talked a lot about. This is one of the games that you wanted on your regular season schedule. David Tyler Gonzalez is an RBU candidate that we've had. So, maybe not necessarily a 6 and a 7. Maybe this is like a 4 and a 5 that you played tough league schedules, you took a couple L's. It just, the seedings aren't perfect in San Diego, so we're still kind of learning about that. I cannot go against any team that beats Bishops. We talked a lot about them being a top 5 team, top 4. How good are they? They haven't lost in 2 years in the regular season. In only state playoff games they lose. Putting up 60 plus on them is all I need to know. I'm saying Steele Canyon takes it.
I'm going to agree with that. You guys surprised me last week. Congratulations. Tip of my hat. Great game for you guys last week. I think you're going to win this week, too. No.
First, shout out to David Tyler Gonzalez. He was giving me messages on Twitter just for not picking up last week to win. They came out and they got a good win. But I got to go with Steele Canyon. I mean, just look at these guys. I mean, just look at them.
We're also scared of
They're
them.
ballers.
Yeah, so,
They're ballers. I feel Steele Canyon's going to come to play. They're well coached. They have a lot of guys on the teams that say, hey, let's go win a championship, right? I think they're going to come out fired up.
But they've got a tough test on the other side of that bracket, though.
They do. Oh, regardless. But I feel like Steele Canyon's ready. When you come out and you beat a Bishop's team that's been blowing out teams all year, they beat open division Grossmont, and you still have the mentality on Friday, like, hey, we're going to go out and we're going to drop 60, and we're going to get this dub and leave. I mean, I got Steele Canyon.
Let's talk about that other side of the bracket.
Yeah, let's do it. It is the number 1 seed, Ramona, undefeated, going to host number 4, Otay Ranch.
All right, this might as well just be the game that we didn't know was going to be wanted all season long. But
I was looking for Lincoln, to be
dude,
honest.
this is going to be a knockdown, drag-out brawl at the front 7 versus the front 7. Physical game. Shout out to Sammy Peronata and company for sticking it to Lincoln. I mean, they came out and they answered a lot of questions about some of the early season losses that we had seen Otay take, and about what really matters at the bottom line: physicality and being physical and hitting people in the mouth and not shying away from that contact. I say Otay upsets in a 21-14 type of game. This one is going to be low scoring. This one's going to be physical. Ramona's going to get frustrated when Otay holds on to the ball for long, sustained drives.
All right, if you're going to give a score, I will too. 24-7, Ramona. Wow. Undefeated this year, I think this...
Oh, that's no joke.
Hey.
Tristan, Stacy, and company are good.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens, but I think they're going to win this game by a couple of possessions.
I got Otay by 2 possessions. I think Otay is just red hot. They're playing for something bigger than them, and their principal, Mr. Bose, who recently passed away. I feel like Sammy P has that team rolling. The thing about Otay is they're very physical. They answered my question. What my concern with Otay last week was team speed against Lincoln, but they showed that even though they're physical, they're fast too. So I got Otay. Last year in Division II, the number 4 seed beat the number 1 seed in the semifinals. I think it's going to happen again. I got Otay Ranch.
All right, there we go. Moving on to Division I. Who's our Division I guest picker today?
Deontay McKinney, number 22, running back.
All right, here we go. So for Division I, first game, we've got number 3 Carlsbad going to number 2 Eastlake. I'm going to take Eastlake. We were with them earlier this year. They've had a good stretch run here. I think that they'll take the W.
I'm going to go with Carlsbad. They are an avocado league product, and you cannot go against that. If you look at what the Open Division is doing and how strong this league play is, there's some losses on Carlsbad's season that I just got to check off as anybody that played in that league. If you guys played in that league, if Helix played in that league, if you take Eastlake, put them in that league, they're still going to get those losses to Mission and Torrey and those kind of schools. So I'm going to go with Carlsbad, but this to me is why you have the playoffs, because you take an East County team or a South Bay team, whatever you want to call Eastlake, and you take a North County team, and you throw two different entire styles of play and two different plot lines together and mix them up in something that would never happen in the regular season. This is physical up front versus passing. I think Carlsbad edges this one out.
What are your thoughts?
I'm going to take Carlsbad.
There we go.
Carlsbad. All right. I'm gonna ride with my boys at the lake.
Yeah, Cameron Thomas.
Cameron Thomas.
SDSU commit. Shout out.
It's a real thing. All right, I'm gonna have to go with Eastlake. My boys at the lake. I've been riding with them all season. I feel like they have, they're a little bit more well-rounded. They have the run game, obviously led by Coe, and they got that solid offensive line led by Billy Dunkel. They have guys that could stretch the field with Jalen Jackson and Michael Pietla-Wiggs, and then they have a great defense. So I just feel like they have all the tools to make a run in this Division I playoffs, and I feel like they're going to clap back and go advance to the championship this Friday.
Yeah, and also, hey, Billy, behave yourself out there. We love you, man. But yeah.
Billy Dunkel kicked out 4 minutes into it.
Yeah, behave yourself here, man. Here we go. The second game in Division I. It is the number 1 seed El Camino hosting their rivals, the number 5 seed Oceanside. Christian, what do you think?
I think it's ridiculous if Oceanside is able to answer the call and show up in the playoffs and run the table and make it all the way to the finals. But at the same time, it goes back to what we're saying about the Avocado League just being disproportionately better than everybody else. Both of these teams took a lot of bad losses in the regular season. But you know what? I like defense. I like hard-hitting players like Michael Lennon. I like Moses Tauilili. I like just being able to say that name in general. I like Donovan Lay.
I shut away from that name.
Isaiah Calliope Tuese. I like those names. I like those players. I like a hard-hitting defense. And to me, that'll be just enough to disrupt the deep passing game of El Camino. So I'll take Oceanside.
I'm going to take Oceanside as well. I'm going to take them as well. I mean, they have that. There's a lot of pride up there at that school, for the football program. And I think the kids, they had a tough regular season, but they're in the playoffs. It's a rematch. Yeah, I think Oceanside's got this one. What are we thinking?
I'm taking Oceanside. They always know how to win the big games, so I'm taking Oceanside.
There we go. 3 on Oceanside. You can be the lone El Camino. They're the 1 seed.
Yeah, El Camino's the 1 seed. I think they had last week they played a very tough Olympian team and they pulled it out. At the end of the day, they got the win and now they're moved on. I feel like they've learned a lot from that game, knowing that hey, we can't make the same mistakes again, or else we're gonna lose next week against Oceanside. And I think El Camino's gonna win. I think Malachi Russell's gonna put the team on his back. Jaden Casey, he's gonna have a big game. Chris Brown, he exited the game early against Olympian. I don't know how he's doing, but they had their back number 8, man. Number 8 I don't know your name. I will shout you out when I find your Twitter. But he's gonna be the game changer. He's gonna be the X factor. I think they're gonna beat Oceanside, who beat a good Point Loma team. But I got El Camino.
All right, moving on to the open division. But first, let's meet our guest picker for the open division.
Billy Tullis, number 50, O-line, D-line.
All right, there we go. So open division, we're gonna start with the number 1 seed.
Let's talk about that game second because they're the number 1 seed. So we'll get to that. We'll save the best for last.
Okay, so we got San Marcos traveling to Helix. Christian, upset or no?
Is it an upset to say that the sleeper team? Yeah.
I don't think it would be an upset.
This is numerically, it is an upset to say that San Marcos will win, but man, it's hard for me to judge off what happened last week at Helix. That was a really close game that Madison just tried to run the ball and keep it as close as they could until late, and then they just weren't able to turn the corner. Their defense was amazing. So, game plan is going to change definitely from week to week. So Helix might be looking for a big blowout type of week with the offense. But, man, something about this San Marcos team. Josh Bournes, hard to tackle, another SDSU person.
They got that dog in them. They just want to win.
So, Kyle Phillips, RIP to UCLA's football program right now, but Kyle might be able to save that. I don't know, man. I just think that San Marcos, for as out of the conversation as they maybe have been for taking a couple losses this season, is a very, very hard team to stop. So I say they win a close one.
Guest picker.
Well, I haven't really been following San Marcos that much, but we did play Helix week 6, and I guess with their dynamic offense and their pretty stout defense, I think Helix is going to win it.
All right, Helix, what do you think?
I got Helix. I feel like the Helix secondary as a unit will be able to slow down Kyle Phillips. You can't shut down Kyle Phillips. You can't completely stop him. But I feel like they could slow him down a little bit. And I feel like Helix they're just so physical. every single play, they're just really physical. They showed that physicality last week against a really talented Madison team. I think that's going to be key in this week, and I feel like Helix is going to move on to their 4th consecutive Open Division title.
I do want to say one thing for
wait.
Helix. I do want to say one thing for Helix. Isaiah Wooden is God.
He's a
Like,
beast.
my goodness, watching him.
Shout out Woody.
Yeah,
I played youth with that kid. He's a real
that punt return on the free kick after the safety last week was one of the just most savage things I'd ever seen, running just straight by everybody.
I know, I'll disagree. No, most savage thing I've ever seen is the dunk he did to win our dunk contest last year.
Yeah, that dude. I remember that. Low key, just shout out to Isaiah for being just real good at sports.
Just a God-given talent.
Isaac clamps up Kyle or not.
That I was about to say, there's one person who maybe.
It's not going to be a passing game. It's going to be all running, man. It's going to be all about who just can smash it up the middle and win that battle.
Josh Barnes versus Riri.
There we go. I'm gonna take Helix in this one. I haven't given my pick or my prediction yet. I'm gonna take Helix. I think it'll be a close game. I think it'll be very similar to how you're predicting it. A lot more running than we would anticipate, but I think Helix wins this one. The final game we got to predict. It is another rematch of a game that almost was one of the bigger upsets in San Diego. Torrey Pines traveling to Mission Hills. The last game was at Torrey Pines. Torrey Pines went for 2 down by 1. Had a miss exchange on the snap there. So this is about as close as it can be. Christian, I'll let you go first since you seem pretty excited in this one.
Well, I'm excited about this one, partially because of the rematch, but also partially because of what we saw last week, and that was Grossmont kept it close with Mission Hills because they ran the ball a lot. What does Torrey Pines do? They run the ball like it is going out of style. On the flip side, we saw another rematch that Torrey Pines had last week with another team they'd played. That one went about as well as the Titanic went for LCC. Like, they sank halfway there. It got bad. 40-0 is not a casual playoff game. That is a opening round type of thing. So that being said, something tells me that this one is going to be a nail biter that will just throw season rankings out the window. And as long as Torrey Pines doesn't beat themselves and get in some sort of, they get a fumble like they did on that snap in the 2-point conversion, or get some sort of stupid penalties, I think Torrey's got this one in the bag.
Wow, that's a big statement.
Boss?
Well, like you said, maybe coming down maybe like the last play or a last turnover, I think Mission Hills has it.
All right, Mission Hills. Well, how many points? 3, 7?
Don't put points.
No, okay, no points. No points.
Man. When you have a guy like Jack Tuttle and Chris Olave and that whole rest of that talented Mission Hills team, it's so hard to pick against them. But playing Torrey Pines twice has just been it's just really hard. They're so well coached up. They have such tremendous size, and they know that wing tee like it's the back of their hand. Like, they know that wing tee so well. Mission Hills had a little bit of trouble stopping it last time they played, and now this time I know that Torrey Pines has the adjustments. They know what they need to do. I'm gonna pick Torrey Pines in a nail biter.
Oh my gosh. I hate to be the bad guy, but I'm gonna take Mission Hills. Sorry. It's ruining everybody's
If Mission Hills wins, I will not be surprised at all. If Mission Hills makes a statement, on Friday, I will not be surprised at all.
This is the best open division bracket we've seen in a long time.
But
either one of these semifinals games could be the finals, and we would all be happy with it.
Yeah, definitely. But I just feel like when you have to beat Torrey Pines twice in a season, it's just really hard. I said that last week. It's just really tough, and it didn't go well at all for LCC. So that's why that coaching staff at Torrey Pines, man, shout out to you guys. I feel like you're just going to have your team ready.
Yeah, Gladnick versus Hauser is a great coaching matchup.
I will say this, though, and part of the reason why I like Mission Hills is because I felt like they didn't play that well last week. So they're not going to do that again. That's not going to happen twice.
I don't know if they didn't play that well, or if Chevelle Sterling just rose to the occasion, because he is an RBU candidate, but he's also just one of the better running backs that.
And can I shout out my man Josh Mawala, had a great game too.
Please.
2 touchdowns at receiver. So
There we go. Christian, anything you want to say before we get out of here for this week's podcast?
Yeah, we'll be at the D5 football finals on Friday, and then just keep an eye out, or Saturday.
I made that mistake last year. Don't show up Friday. Show up Saturday.
and then Friday, Saturday of December 1st and 2nd for all the finals at Southwest. Be there. All 3 of us are going to be there just to entertain all day long for both days, have some fun, talk some football. But, so mark one of those 2 days on your calendars and come out and say hi.
It's playoff.
Yeah, come to Granite Hills on Friday.
You heard that. You heard that.
Stick around for RBU.
But yeah, come out, man. It's playoff football in San Diego. On Friday, please make your way out to a game. Enjoy what San Diego football has to offer. There's so many great and talented kids out here that just want to win a championship, and I think it's going to be very exciting to go to any game this week. So just step out.
Yeah, Doghouse. I look forward to your tweets.
There we go. We will see you guys in the finals next week. Enjoy.